Hello, gorgeous soul, and welcome to video number 5. Firstly, congratulations for getting this far, and I bet you're feeling pretty chuffed about this new amazing offering you've got. I would love to know what some of the names are that you've come up with for your unique offering. And now we get to have a chat about how do we get this out in the marketplace? How do we share this amazing offer, and how do we get your ideal client to know about it? So Chris and I are going to take you through a really simple marketing process.
Basic.
Super
basic. 101, simple, easy to implement.
Yeah, don't need to spend money on it because as you know, marketing campaigns, they can either be really simple or overly complex. And I think sometimes we can get a little bit lost in the complexity of some of the things that we're taught around marketing. So we just want to strip it right back and give you the most simplest action plan to get that out there so you can start serving the people that you know your beautiful offering is here to serve.
Totally. Yep.
Cool. So, all right, let's go. Let's have a look at this. So where should we start?
Well, I think it's important to understand that the reason that we're giving you this really, really simple 101 example is that if we were to go into detail of complexity of where we could go with this, there would be a whole other, couple of hours worth of training.
Video.
Yeah, and maybe like a 6-month journey of marketing. And so we want to make this super simple, super easy for you to implement so that you can actually literally walk away from this beautiful 5-part series and put something out into the world. Exactly.
Yep.
And so, it starts with, we want to create content that is going to be giving value to our clients, to our potential clients, to our marketplace. And through that, we want to really be focused on things like taking them from the sad face to the happy face in our content, giving them inspiration, giving them some kind of a breakthrough, or really highlighting your expertise and what it is that you have to offer that is different from the other person that has the same expertise as you, and what makes it unique and what your own personal journey has led you to be an expert in this. It's not about putting your super wanker cape on and saying I'm an expert. It's about showing them through your content, through your articulation.
And your story.
Exactly. And that content can come in so many different shapes and forms. And this is about you looking at, what medium do I shine the brightest on? Am I an epic writer? Do I love doing video? Do I like doing Instagram reels? What are the different mediums that you love to use? And basically sharing that valuable content in that way that really highlights you and the expertise you're offering.
Yeah,
we want to focus on the dream and the desires and the wants that we took you back through a few videos ago.
Yeah.
And the biggest, most important thing is that all of this content that you're sharing in whatever medium is actually a match for the ideal client, for the ideal avatar, for the person that this content, that this offering was literally built for. And if your content isn't a match for that person, you're going to be very, very clear on who it is a match for by who comes in your doors and asking you to work with you, because they will be coming in from that content.
Yeah. And you definitely don't want to square peg round hole it. So this is why it's so important that we have done that previous work to make sure we are a vibrational match. And one of the, I know for me personally, one of the ways that I really like to communicate with my marketplace is talking about the dream and talking about the deeper desires and the deeper wants, because when you do this in your marketing and in your content, you're actually talking to their soul. You're asking a part of them that they may not be consciously aware of to step up and answer the call. And when this happens, there's a vibrational resonance that happens when your client receives this message, because it gives them hope. It makes them step up to their next level mission and their next level purpose. It's some of the most powerful pieces of powerful ways you can connect with your soulmate client, because ultimately they're wanting to borrow your belief in them while they're building their belief in themselves to have that breakthrough. And this is what you want to share in your content.
Yeah, beautiful. And so if you were wanting to get like a little bit kind of organized with this, then you might kind of create a little bit of a map and maybe a journey throughout, say, 3 to 8 separate pieces of content that kind of, if somebody was to consume all of those pieces, like, and individually as well, they're going to get some kind of a breakthrough, whether that be through learning something new or feeling really inspired or feeling really excited about the journey that is available for them. And so, for this super basic 101 example of how to kind of launch, we sort of say like a minimum of 3 pieces of value adding content up to around 8. You can totally do more and for longer, but that's kind of the minimum. Really. And 3 would be having a pretty decent platform that's pretty engaged in your content
already.
Exactly. And 8 would be, perhaps you've got to warm them up a little bit more. Perhaps you're a little bit newer to this process and you've got to kind of build the platform as well. And with the 8, you can start to see kind of what lands and what doesn't land, and it gives you that opportunity to kind of tweak and create, like, make the next thing a little bit deeper or a little bit less.
Yeah, it's a little bit like with each piece, you can sort of like test it like, like a chef who sharpens their knives each time. It gets better and better every time you do it. And the more precision you can get with your messaging, and you'll find like that's where the engagement comes from. And remember, when you're doing this, it's not about getting loads of engagement. It's about getting quality engagement, because they're the ones that are going to buy from you. And I see people get a little bit lost with this within their marketing campaigns, is they think bigger is better and more, and get like more likes, but it's actually not. It's not necessarily about more likes, because when you're creating content from this place where it is very specific, the product, who the product's here to serve, and speaking to your ideal client at that level, it's not so much about getting huge engagements, but it's about speaking very precisely to their heart and having much better quality leads, because remember, the whole purpose is attracting people that are your soulmate clients and only working with the people you love.
Totally. And if you have 5 people like your post that love it, that comment, that literally inquire, that is so much better than having 100 that don't comment and give you crickets. Exactly. And so it's really important. And the next part of that, to kind of add on to the value adding content, is what we see as a huge error in marketing for so many coaches, is that they really lack in call to action. They really lack in invitation to the thing. And so, throughout each individual piece of value adding content, and don't get me wrong, you don't need to add this to every single one, but more often than not, we recommend you do. We want to lead them somewhere. And whether that's, in some of your content where it doesn't feel really aligned to have like a hard call to action, you can have a really soft and gentle one, like in a PS. We'll go into some detail with these in a second. But ultimately, what we want a direct offer, a direct invitation within that content. So we want to kind of build them through some inspiration, some education, and what have you, and then complete the value adding content with an invitation of how they can get the result that you're talking about.
Yeah. And like you said, we see so many people go wrong with this, because how many times have you read this like epic great piece of content where you're like, wow, that's me, and you've had so many like shifts and you're like, this person is awesome, how do I work with them? But there's just nothing at the end. PS, love whoever. Oh, right. And then even sometimes where I've really been following people for a while and I've loved them, I've literally got to troll through their stuff to try and find like a product link, a website link. So I'm like, bloody hell, how hard do you want to make it to work with you?
Totally.
And this is like, I personally recommend at the end of every piece of content, there's at least a minimum of a soft call to action that would go something like, P.S. by the way, if you love this and you resonated with it and you would like some support in maybe shifting through something similar that you're working through, send me a message. Let's have a chat and let's see what it'd be like to potentially work together. It can be that simple.
Totally.
And I highly recommend something like that on every post, or at least in your bio, have your website link.
Totally. Yes, all those things. And so some examples of what that direct offer, invitation, or that call to action can look like, we're going to add them into a PDF that you can look at below, but we're just going to kind of run through a couple of examples. And as Kelly said, one of them could be just as simple as what she just said, the PS at the end. Another one, a more direct call to action would be after sharing a really awesome piece of value, whether that be in a story or an inspiring piece of writing or a video, which we will show you an awesome example of a call to action at the end of this video.
Yep.
Is, have you got one off the top of your tongue?
Like a direct call to action?
Yeah.
Great. So you've given somebody a really awesome piece of content. You've talked about this program that you're running. Maybe you've shared a case study in there about a breakthrough a client has. And then you simply close with a PS, I'm starting a new round of insert whatever your epic personalized program is. It kicks off 1st of August. If you're interested to be part of the magic, send me a PM and let's have a chat and see if this is the right match for you.
Totally. And one that you could put inside of the content as opposed to the PS. The PS being a little bit more of a softer form of a call to action. But if you want like a really direct invitation and within your content, it can be, so if you're ready to take this journey, if you're ready to get this breakthrough, if you're ready for insert desire, insert dream, insert awesome thing that you deliver here, the way to connect with me is drop me a private message, click this link and it will take you to more information about
my booking calendar or more information about the course.
Book a discovery call.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to be direct with it. Because the thing is, if you've given a really epic piece of content and you've given somebody value and you've given them a breakthrough, you've now earned their respect. And if they've given you the time to get to this point, you owe it to them to invite them to take the next step.
And like Kelly said, how annoying is it when people don't?
It's so annoying.
It is really annoying. And so look at it as part of the service. If you've got this amazing thing that you want to offer and you're not inviting people to it, consider it being a disservice to them because you're not actually serving them by not inviting them to your offering. And it might feel a little bit uncomfortable to do so, but when you consider how much service you are offering by inviting them to do your product because you know that you can give them the happy face to the sad face.
And all the beautiful benefits in between.
Exactly. Why wouldn't you?
Exactly. Yep. So this is how we want you to start thinking about the content pieces you want to share with your marketplace, and hopefully attract your ideal client so that they do send you that private message and they want to have a chat with you, which then leads us to the next part of this, which is the sales process. And I'm going to assume that if you're at this point already, you've already got a sales process that you're following. The only difference between what you're offering now and what you have been offering, instead of saying the old thing, it's like you're now offering the new premium signature offer, and your invitation would go something like, so the total investment of insert your sexy thing is, for example, $10,000, and you can either pay the investment upfront or we have finance available for as little as $55 a week. If you'd like to move forward, what's best for you? So, and this is now, I know that some of you may already be working with finance, and for some of you, this is totally new and you're like, what did you just say? This is where if you don't already have the finance part as part of your sales process, this is where I want you to get in contact with me. I've got a whole process I think it's about 90 minutes all up. 45 minutes of it is just like the tangible things that have like the literal step-by-step of finance. And then I've also got a really awesome training I've done with my business mentor, and she was the one that I originally had the finance brokerage with, and I eventually bought it off her, but she taught me everything that I know about business, everything that I know about sales, and she was kind enough to create this little 35-minute training with me. And she literally goes through how to budget qualify, how to add this smoothly into your existing process, and how to objection handle anything that might come up around finance inside your sales call, so that when you get to the end, there is no objection, and it just takes down all those barriers between where your client is and saying yes to going on this journey with you.
Which is an awesome piece of value because I have done that exact sales process for a long time, and it's really, really powerful.
Yeah, it's a super powerful one. So that link to get back in contact with me will probably be below above. I'm not sure where it's going to look yet, but it will definitely be somewhere, probably flashing at you.
Hopefully, if we can make that work. Yeah. We'll see how my tech skills are. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
and that's it for you for invitation. Yeah, awesome. So depending on where you're at in your journey, you may want to go into detail with this process with somebody. And as you will have seen throughout this beautiful, amazing 5-part mini series, this is what I specialize in. And so depending on where you're at in your journey will depend on whether Liberated Launch is the right fit for you. Firstly, the benefits that I spoke to earlier would really have resonated within your heart, and you will be somebody who has done this before. This is Liberated Launch is not a marketing course. Although I absolutely help you craft your offering and your marketing and the delivery and the kind of launch process. That's what the whole offering is. I don't necessarily teach you how to write amazing content or create amazing content. You have to have that baseline. Otherwise, it would be much more than a 12-week one-on-one program, because there's just so much.
Marketing's a huge topic.
Exactly. And so I would assume that a client who's ready for Liberated Launch has done this before. This is not their first rodeo. However, it may be the first time that they are ready to deliver an amazing product out into the world. And so maybe they've got some awesome runs on the board, like Kelly's avatar, as she shared earlier. They've got some runs on the board. They're not brand new. And that's kind of who is the type of person that is a match for Liberated Launch. So if you're ready to liberate your launch, there is going to be a link below so that you can contact me and get in touch, and we can see if it's the right match for you as well.
Amazing. And that, my beautiful friends, is how you do 2 very direct call to actions.
Exactly.
So, so I hope that's kind of given you some flavors and some examples of how this works and how you can communicate with your client about your product and how you can invite them to work with you. So I hope you found value in this. We've loved our time with you very much. Thank you so much for being at this part at the end, because we know it's been quite a journey. And yeah, I really look forward to working with you and creating some epic impact on the planet.
And we'd also love your feedback. We'd love to hear what you got out of this, what was made available to you through these amazing free trainings that we've been able to deliver to you over the last 5 trainings. And so if you want to, hit reply on one of our emails or drop us a private message and tell us how it impacted you, we love getting that kind of feedback, because it really lights us up and makes it worth,
doesn't it?
Everything that we just did to create this for you. Exactly.
And I'd love to say a really big thank you to you too, Carissa. I've had so much fun co-creating this with you.
Too.
You have shared some epic value. There has been absolute gold in these.
Thanks so much for having me, babe.
You're so welcome.
I love you.
I love you.